All right, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be installing an exhaust on the Sonic. I got my buddy Brandon here to help me do it for moral support and to turn a few bolts. We'll talk about why you might want to get a new exhaust on your car. We're gonna do the install it on the Sonic, and then we're gonna answer the question, is it worth it? So let's get right into it. So why upgrade your exhaust? So it really comes down to two things, power and sound. For power, you're really only gonna be able to add like 10 horsepower, but 10 horsepower on like any car, like that's a significant gain. And then for sound, really just to show off to all your car buddies.
Yeah, and make sure people notice you when you go down the street.
Your stock exhaust is built for good emissions and quiet exhaust notes. It's not really meant for power. In your typical exhaust system, it's a little bit more restrictive. You're gonna have at least 2 catalytic converters, a resonator, and a muffler. So it's just not meant to sound good or really to give you lots of power. The exhaust tubing itself also is pretty small on stock cars, usually like 1.5 inches or maybe 2 inches in some cars. I think we're putting 2.5-inch tubing on the Sonic today. And we're also getting rid of 1 catalytic converter and no resonator. It's a little 4-cylinder car, so don't really need to quiet anything down. An aftermarket exhaust will usually use bigger tubing and cut out some of those components from your stock system, such as your catalytic converter or a resonator, just to improve flow, get more power, more sound.
Yeah, by removing a thing like a catalytic converter and a resonator, you allow that air to pass through a little more freely and give you a little more power.
Something to keep in mind, especially if you're making your own exhaust system, is you don't want to streamline it too much. So I know you've probably seen online, oh, I can straight pipe my car for $75 or something for tubing and weld it together. Well, you still need some of that back vacuum pressure to help pull the exhaust out of the engine. So if you straight pipe it, there's not really any pressure or constriction to help pull those exhaust out of your engine. And then another thing to think about is, depending on where you live, if you remove catalytic converters, that could go against your regulations, such as California. So make sure you check your regulations where you live before you go removing exhaust parts. Something to keep in mind when you're doing installs, especially with exhaust parts, is all the bolts, if you live in a not so dry state, are gonna be rusty. And it's a great idea to, like the night before, to spray all your bolts with some WD-40 or PB Blaster, just so it's a lot easier the next day to get all those bolts off. You'll thank yourself later. Now to the install. So we ran into a problem. The exhaust, the stock exhaust is like all one piece towards the back end. The muffler goes into the other piping. So you got to cut it, and we don't really have the best tools to do that. So Brandon is going to go get a angle grinder. So we'll be good to go once he gets back. I'm going to work on some of these bolts. out with the old, in with the new. Got the old system out. Check out the difference in size there of the piping.
That's way bigger.
I think we went from 1 inch to 2.5 inch. What do you think, Brandon?
Looking good.
All right, well, we have no exhaust system on now, so we got to see if we can shoot some flames. Let's try it out.
Let's do it.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It smells terrible. Done with the install. It was not too hard. We did kind of cheat. We used a Sawzall rather than cutting or getting some of the bolts off, but they were kind of rusted on, so you know, do what you gotta do. As its first startup, let's see how it sounds. Ooh, now that sounds that being heard. Driving the Sonic and it sounds amazing. I'm just gonna record and kind of have the sound. It's kind of hard to shift and have the sound, so. Alrighty guys, the new exhaust system is on. Brandon had to go to work, so he is gone. But he did hear it before he left. It sounds super, super good. For power, for what I bolted on today, it's only supposed to add 3 to 4 horsepower. I did the downpipe a couple months ago, and that's supposed to add 8. So in total, we're looking at least 11 to 12 horsepower gain just from adding the exhaust system. And it sounds way better, as you saw my reaction earlier. But yeah, so to answer that question, is it worth it? For me, I would definitely say yes. It could depend differently for you, depending on the cost of your exhaust system. But I got mine on sale on Black Friday, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I'd highly recommend doing your exhaust system. Some things I do want to point out for the install. Exhaust hangers, where it goes into the rubber grommet. I would say probably the best way to get those out is just to use like a flathead screwdriver, put a little bit of WD-40 on it, and you know, it's not too hard to get those out. And then in regard to exhaust bolts, we did kind of cheat a little bit on those. We did actually get some of them off with the impact gun, but we did kind of cut our way around a couple others. But it's on and it sounds good, and I would say it's definitely worth it. So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.